Shalom, brothers and sisters. Grace, mercy, and peace be unto you from Yahuwah the Father and Yahusha the Messiah, his Son. Hear, O Yisrael. Yahuwah, our mighty one, is one Yahuwah. This is Brother David coming to you again to bring you the laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments of Yahuwah. See his name right there? In Hebrew. We're starting today from Deuteronomy chapter 7. Do you know something I realized while I was doing my research and putting these passages together? Is that I was created for this purpose, just to expound on his commandments. My first sermon, and this is in the church, was Matthew chapter 5, verse 17 through 19. Think not, don't put it in your mind, the Messiah was saying. Think not that I've come to abolish or destroy the law or the prophets. He said, I did not come to destroy the law or the prophets, but to fulfill. Then he said, till heaven and earth pass away, not one dot or tittle shall pass from the law until all be fulfilled. This is why we're going through this exercise today. This law is still in effect. If you have made it here, now, in this time, in these last days, and you're studying these commandments with me, you are on your way to the kingdom if you hear it and do it. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1 to 3. Now let's see our ancient brothers and sisters. When they were first going into the land to possess it, let's see what the Mighty One says. What applied to them shall also apply to us, but I shall expound on what we can do and what we can't do. Verse 1. When Yahuwah thy Mighty One shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. Listen who's going to cast them out in these last days. You won't have to do anything. The Messiah is going to come and cleanse the land, then gather you and bring you back so that you will dwell safely. He's not going to drop the ball like our ancestors. Verse 2. And when Yahuwah thy Mighty One shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. That seems pretty cruel, doesn't it? Unless you consider what was going on in that day. There were giants in the land, brothers and sisters. The people were infected with an angelic genome. Remember when Joshua or Yahusha and a few of his other brothers went to spy out the land, and they said, we look like grasshoppers to them. These men must have been huge. This is why the Father says, wipe them out. The children, the women, the old, and the men. Utterly destroy them. Don't even take their cattle. Destroy them also. Verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son. Don't you give your daughters to these strange people. Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Don't take their daughters unto our children. Verse 4. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of Yahuwah be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. There's a penalty for this behavior. Destruction, brothers and sisters. Verse 5. But this is how you're going to deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, break down their images, cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. You can do this now. You're going to break down all of these images and altars that you have built up to these gods in this country. You're going to cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire. Even the images that the brothers have given unto you, burn them with fire, brothers and sisters. The Father is preparing us to go into the kingdom. You're not going to go into the kingdom with these images. Verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto Yahuwah thy mighty one, set apart. Yahuwah thy mighty one hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. We are special above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Do you know what shows how special we are? The curses. He says, whom he loveth, he also chastiseth. All you have to do is look around at the people who are flourishing in this society, who are making money. They are not his. Those who are destroying the earth, they are not his. Those who are under chastisement, who is that? Who's in the lands of their captivity? The children of Israel all over the world. Remember, we've been displaced. We've been displaced from Africa. We've been displaced from our homeland, Yisrael. We have no place. We're in the lands of our captivity. He chose us above all people that are upon the face of the earth. When he chose us, he told us exactly what we were looking at when we took this covenant upon ourselves. And he told you, if you do it, you will be blessed. If you don't do it, you will be cursed. It shows that the people who are cursed around the earth, those who have been taken in ships, those who are being tortured and tormented around the earth, the children of Israel. Now, everybody who's going through problems is not his children. But this is a bloodline. This is the bloodline that comes from Abraham, Isaac, and then our patriarch, Jacob, whose name changed to Yisrael. Now, the Jews have taken on this position, haven't they? They say that they are the people who are above all the people that are upon the face of the earth, but they have not experienced the curses. We have been going through these curses now, the tribe of Judah, for 400 years. We don't have a clue who we are. We have no identity. The Father says that we are considered to be his hidden ones. Nobody knows us. Everyone thinks of us as nothing but a bunch of niggers. All you have to do is look at your people. They're in the projects. They're killing one another. Poverty. I mean, everything applies to us. The sickness, the haughtiness of our women, the licentious, lustful, libidinous behavior of our men. We are leading the world in evil behavior. All you have to do is look at Beyonce and look at her husband, whose name is Jehovah. We are leading the people in this evil behavior. It points towards us, brothers and sisters, not the ones that are over there in Israel. Let me just ask you a question. If they're the chosen people that are above all the people on the face of the earth, that means that they are the ones whom our Messiah is going to come back, destroy everyone who is in the land, all of our enemies. He's going to gather them and bring them back into the promised land. Did you see that happen? They went and took the land by force under a Balfour agreement. We're talking about you. You have to come back to Yahuwah. All of this, you are above all the people that are upon the face of the earth. You have to start keeping his commandments and follow his ways. Verse 7, Yahuwah did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because you were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. Verse 8, but because Yahuwah loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, hath Yahuwah brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen from the land of Pharaoh, king of Egypt? He has brought us out before. Look at the word he uses, redeemed. Redemption is only for the children of Israel, brothers and sisters. I went to Bible school. I know the definition of redemption. You cannot be redeemed unless you first belong to him. The Father only chose a bloodline. Who did the Messiah come to redeem? Those who were under the law. Only the children of Israel. He is the one who is going to redeem us, bring us back to the Father. Can the Jews state that? They never belonged to him. Proof positive that they have never belonged to him is that every single thing that they do is to circumvent what Yahuwah has said in that word. They will not even call upon his name. They've replaced his name in our book with Baal. He's going to redeem us out of the house of bondmen. In our case, that is America, from the hand of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. Now, in this Egypt, in this house of bondmen, we have a president. Verse 9, know therefore that Yahuwah thy mighty one, he is the mighty one, the faithful mighty one, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. True love is keeping his commandments. You cannot say you love him and not do this. Verse 10, and repayeth them that hate him to their face, to destroy them. Love is keeping the commandments. Hate is not keeping his commandments. He says he's going to come to your face and destroy you, face to face. He's going to bring us into the wilderness, brothers and sisters, and destroy all of the rebels there. He will not be slack to him that hateth him. He's not going to have mercy. He will repay him to his face. Verse 11, thou shalt therefore keep the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which I command thee this day to do them. Don't you see how many times he's repeating himself? We haven't even gotten into the meat of the commandments yet. What he's doing here is constantly repeating himself. He's telling you one thing: you must love him with all your heart, your mind, and your soul. If you don't, he's going to destroy you. And then he's telling you you have to keep the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments, which he commands you this day to do them. And even if you are a sojourner, a stranger, a convert, you have to keep these commandments also. That means the church is going to be totally decimated because they refuse to keep his commandments. Under Jesus and under Jesus's laws, the law has been abolished. Verse 12, wherefore it shall come to pass, if ye hearken to those judgments and keep and do them, you have to hear them and do them, that Yahuwah thy mighty one shall keep unto thee the covenant and the mercy which he sware unto thy fathers. Listen, this promise is contingent upon an action. The action has to come from his people. You have to keep the covenant, and then the Father. is required to keep his part. Verse 13, and he will love thee, and bless thee, and multiply thee. He will also bless the fruit of thy womb, and the fruit of thy land, thy corn, and thy wine, and thine oil, the increase of thy kine, and the flocks of thy sheep in the land which he swore unto thy fathers to give thee. Listen, everything that you're looking at today is nothing but a lie. The money that you're getting is nothing. This whole society, if the money system falls apart, what's going to happen to you? You're going to be destroyed. You're going to be waiting on bread lines, trying to be fed. The Father does not deal with that type of wealth. Look what he says he's going to bless. The fruit of your womb, your children. The fruit of thy land, you're going to have land, and it's going to bring forth fruit. The corn is going to bring forth wine, oil, your kine, your goats, they're going to increase, and the flocks of thy sheep, they shall increase, and the land which he swore unto thy fathers to give thee. Remember, he told you that you're going to have wells digged that you did not dig. You're going to have pure, fresh, clean water that has been waiting for thousands of years for us to return. Verse 14, thou shalt be blessed above all people. There shall not be male or female barren among you or among your cattle. Do you see that? We shall grow exponentially. Our flocks are kind. Everything is going to increase. That's the promise. If you keep this covenant, brothers and sisters, you'll be above all people on the earth. Verse 15. And Yahuwah will take away from thee all sickness. That's what I'm talking about. And will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt, the house of bondage, which thou knowest, upon thee, but will lay them upon all them that hate thee. Cancer. The cancers that they've created in labs, AIDS, and all of the other diseases. He's going to reverse them and put them back on them. Because once we come out of this curse, brothers and sisters, everything will be reversed and shall go upon our enemies. And thou shalt consume all the people which Yahuwah thy mighty one shall deliver thee. Thine eye shall have no pity upon them, neither shalt thou serve their gods, for that will be a snare unto thee. Don't have any pity when he puts these curses upon them. We have too much empathy. We have to learn to let the people deal with the judgment that they have chosen. If they chose not to keep Yahuwah's ways, they chose to hate him. That's their choice. You cannot do anything about it. If they chose to love him, they will have all of these great things. And the others, we shall go to visit them in the lake of fire when we come before Yahuwah every new moon and every Sabbath. Verse 17, if thou shalt say in thine heart, these nations are more than I, how can I dispose of them? You don't have to say it with your mouth. He knows the heart. He can see it. Verse 18, thou shalt not be afraid of them, but shalt well remember what Yahuwah thy mighty one did unto Pharaoh and unto all Egypt. Remember, the plagues never touched the children of Israel. They only touched the Egyptians. Verse 19, the great temptations which thine eyes saw, and the signs, and the wonders, and the mighty hand, and the stretched out arm, whereby Yahuwah thy mighty one brought thee out, so shall Yahuwah thy mighty one do unto all the people of whom thou art afraid. America, the Europeans, we're afraid of them. They have all power in their hands. Their military is vast. Their power is greater than any ever seen upon the earth. Don't be afraid of them. When he comes to get us, he's going to show them something they've never seen before. Verse 20, Moreover, Yahuwah thy mighty one will send a hornet amongst them, until they that are left and hide themselves from thee be destroyed. He's going to bring the locusts out of the bottomless pit. It's going to sting them and torture them. It won't affect all of those who have Yahuwah's name in their foreheads. Verse 21, thou shalt not be affrighted at them, for Yahuwah thy mighty one is among you, a mighty, mighty one, and terrible. Do you know they always say that he's such a loving God, right? That's what they all say. He's a loving God. He wouldn't do that. The whole Bible tells you about this judgment, how he's going to come and destroy all of them that hate him, from the old straight to the new. But yet they choose to say that he's just all about love. Let's just hold hands together and sing the Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. He's going to come with vengeance. Verse 22, and Yahuwah thy mighty one will put out those nations before thee by little and little. Thou mayest not consume them at once, lest the beasts of the field increase upon thee. In those days, he told him, he says, listen, get rid of them little by little, because they're the ones who are getting rid of all of these beasts of the field, the lions and all of the animals that consumed flesh, until you have built your fortresses so that you can be protected. Verse 23, but Yahuwah thy mighty one shall deliver them unto thee, and shall destroy them with a mighty destruction until they be destroyed. These are going to be all the nations, brothers and sisters. In this time, we're going to rule for 1,000 years. Every nation that does not come and bow down and kiss our feet, they shall be destroyed. Verse 24, and he shall deliver their kings into thy hand. All of the presidents, the kings, the prime ministers, everyone is going to be delivered into our hands. And thou shalt destroy their name from under heaven. Our name shall be in the forefront, the children of Yisrael. Therefore shall no man be able to stand before thee until thou have destroyed them. After 1,000 years, the Father is going to give them a burial place. Verse 25, the graven images of their gods shall ye burn with fire. Here we go again. Thou shalt not desire the silver or the gold that is on them. You know what the Israelites were doing when they went and got the spoils of war, and they found these statues and figurines. They took them in their house because they had gold on them. The Father says, don't even desire that, nor take it unto thee. Don't bring it into your house, lest thou be snared therein, for it is an abomination to Yahuwah thy mighty one. It is an abomination unto Yahuwah thy mighty one. All of those images, figurines, little angels, pictures of YAHUAH'S, burn them with fire, for it is an abomination unto Yahuwah. Neither shalt thou bring abomination into thy house. He has to repeat himself, lest thou be a cursed thing like it. But thou shalt utterly detest it, and thou shalt utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing. If you want to do a test to any of these Israelite brothers, right? Take a picture of that YAHUAH'S, throw it on the floor and stomp on it with your foot. See what type of reaction that they give you. See if they get angry because you stomped on it and you ripped it to pieces and threw it in the garbage. See what happens. They might jump on you and beat you down. For it is a cursed thing. And if you take this cursed thing into your house, so shall you be accursed. Continue to chapter 8. Shalom.